Hey there, Latin 3. All right, so before we get on to chapter 63, I want to remind you that doing review 15A and B, A is really more for reading comprehension. B, I recommend very strongly that you underline and parse out all of the subjunctive verbs, and then make sure in your parsing that you explain why. Remember, so it's person, number, voice, tense, mood, and reason. And then I would honestly skip 15C. It's not that important. But then you should probably read pages 99 through 101. Actually, no, through 103. I apologize. Because it gives you the background as to what post-Civil War Rome is like, especially under Augustus's rule. Because there's a fair amount of difference between Augustus as Octavian and Augustus as the emperor himself. So here we are on 63 Big A, page 105, Augustus before the Principate. The Latin screws me up. So this is from Res Gestae. I've translated all of these. They're fun and incredibly dull at the exact same time. It's like watching an Undertaker match. Is just jaw-dropping and at the same time kind of dull. So here we go, chapter 63, Big A. And this is just pulling from different sections from Res Gestae. He wrote 31 books or something like that, and it's mostly just him bragging about what he's done. So, when I was 19, on my own responsibility, my own planning, my own authority, and at my own expense, I raised an army. To be fair, at his own expense, he just inherited all of Caesar's wealth. Through which I freed the Republic, which had been crushed by the tyranny of a faction. Notice he's not naming names. And because of that, the Senate, by way of honorary decrees, enrolled me in its order during the consulship of Gaius Pansa and Aulus Hirtius, granting me the consular right of precedence. And what that means is like he gets to speak as a consul. This is kind of a callback to what we saw in previous chapters. I believe it was 56. And giving me the consular right of precedence, of giving my opinion in any debate, and it gave me power, imperium, the power to rule. The Senate also ordered me as propraetor, together along with the consuls, to see to it that the state should come to no harm. Moreover, in the same year, since both consuls had fallen in battle, the people elected me consul and triumvir for the organization of the Republic, in order to organize the Republic. Those who murdered my father, I drove them into exile, once I had avenged their crime by due process of law. And later, when they were waging war on the state, I defeated them twice in battle. Now notice they don't get named. Notice he uses the word for murder, not tyrannicide. And notice that he did it by due process of law. It was legal. Partly because the law of revenge is actually a legal law in Roman law. The whole of Italy swore allegiance to me on its own accord, and demanded me to be the leader of the war in which I was victorious at Actium. That is the war where he's fighting against Mark Antony. Again, he's the only one named here. The Gallic and the Spanish provinces, there were multiple provinces of each, and Africa, Sicily, and Sardinia all swore the same oath. So essentially, he's consolidated his power, and they have sworn allegiance specifically to him. Not Rome, not the empire, him. But he's saying they did it of their own volition. That's quite the shift, by the way. Shifting from allegiance to a state of some sort to an allegiance to a man. It's a very important one to point out, and it's one that he's claiming they did on their own. So that is 63 big A. I will see you in a little bit for 63 big B.